Hello.
Great and amazing morning, guys. This is absolutely amazing. We have the physicians panel this morning with this dynamic individual. Listen, he has been in the industry, and not the industry of network marketing, but I'm talking about the industry of his profession, which is natural medicine. Listen, he is absolutely incredible. He can diagnose you by if talking to him. Like he can literally go through your body by speaking to you over the phone. I mean, the letters that come after his name, I can't even remember them. All I know is literally like the alphabet. It's like C, B, C, D, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. The only thing that I didn't see on there was a Z. So he probably has more life in him to get to that Z. But without further ado, I want to present to some and introduce to others this phenomenal individual. I met him back in November. I've heard of him so often, spoken so highly by Dr. Helen for years. I've heard his name, but I never got to meet him. But in getting to sit at the table with him back in November, it was absolutely incredible. He's a dynamic speaker. When you can listen to him for hours when he talks. And so I will say to him, it's a plum-pleasing pleasure for me to introduce to you this morning, Dr. Franco Taylor, natural medical doctor. Are you there, sir?
I am in the house. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, sir.
All
And
right.
I'm going to work on getting your slides. So give me a second.
Okay. Very, very good. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to all of you out there in Sankey land. It is just as she said, it's a plum-pleasing pleasure to be here with you this morning. We're looking at several things. I'm trying to see how the board is set up here for me. Okay. I'm looking for something here. And let's see. Okay. I don't see it, but that's okay. That's okay. What we want to talk about is the fact that we've got a formulation, we have a line of formulas that are so powerful that there's nothing like them anywhere on the planet. Most of you have been familiar with various types of products and supplements through the years that were supposed to have healed, that were supposed to have done this, and all those mainly have come and gone. You've got a couple of companies that have been around over 50 years or so, the Avons and so forth, but most of them have come and gone. And it was because they were cookie cutter. They were just like all the others, just had another name on them. And these products could not do what was needed. What was really needed, Dr. Bahia Diaz, who is our scientific director and the founder, this whole thing was his baby 50 years ago. He was looking to see what it was that people really needed. And he saw that there were people in Japan who were living to be in excess of 100 years, 105, 110, 150, 15, and they still had clear vision, that their voices were clear, their minds were sharp, they still had energy and strength, and they had little or no disease. And so he wondered, what is it that's going on with these people? What is it that I can give to the world? And what he saw was that their lifestyles, their culture, and we're going to talk about that in a second, but their culture lended towards them living a long time. They didn't do a lot of hugging on strangers. They didn't shake a lot of hands. They didn't wear their shoes inside the house. So they kept disease and sickness outside. But there was something else. He saw that in their food that they ate was mainly fermented foods. What is fermentation? That's what your body does to the foodstuffs that you put in your body. That's right. It ferments these foods. And what lets happen in your body is that your body is able to take all the antioxidants, all of the metabolites, and all of the enzymes that are made through this metabolism in your body and put it into this form of DNA, molecules of antioxidants, and everything that the body needed, the metabolites and so forth, that the body needed in order to carry on its processes. So I'm going to take a little drink of Belage right here. So as you can see on the screen, it says Sankey. Literally, we always ask the question, why Sankey? Why now? Well, there's a reason for that. Simply because most people's immune systems just do not do what they were designed to do. And again, when Dr. Bahia Diaz created these formulas, when he began to work on them, the whole idea was that these formulas would give the body what it needed to heal itself. The body was designed to keep itself as what's called homeostasis. And it doesn't do that anymore because most of us just don't eat the way we were designed to eat in the beginning. Remember, in the beginning, we were designed to eat fruit, nuts, grains, and vegetables. There were no microwave ovens and George Foreman grills in the Garden of Eden. And there were no barbecue trees, hamburger bushes, and chicken wing vines. Okay, that's meant to make you smile, but it's meant to make you think. I'm not saying that you can't eat animal products and you can't eat cooked food. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that these foods are dead. They give the body nothing that it needs. There are no metabolites, there are no enzymes, there are no antioxidants in dead food and cooked food. You got to get that. God allows you to eat what you want to eat. Yeah, you know, if that's what you got to have, okay, fine, go for it. But that is not what the body truly, truly needs. So we're looking at one of our products, which is called Belage, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But I want to help you to understand why this Belage is so powerful, why it has activity against viruses. Why does it do that? First of all, when Dr. Bahia Diaz looked at these centenarians, over 70,000 of them living in Japan, what he noticed again was that their fermented foods gave them the vitality. Their bodies literally were running on automatic. And what did he do? Longevity was the key. So from then until now, Sankey Global has literally, everything is intact. In other words, we grow our own trees, the olive trees and the rosemary bushes, all of this, we grow it all ourselves, the cacao. I mean, we literally, from beginning to end, all the processes in pulling together these formulas, we control it. And the trees that they use, now listen to me carefully, because we're talking about why this Belage is so strong, why the Belage does so much, why it can stop virus in its tracks, why at a time like now, when we're dealing with a coronavirus. But most folks don't really understand that this is not just a passerby. This thing is going to be with us for a while. I've talked, I've researched, I've talked with some of the top people in the industry. And basically, this is a repeat of things that have happened in the past, but each time it gets a little stronger, it gets a little more diversified, in that the virus literally is doing all it can to stay alive. So no matter what we come up with to try to knock it down, it goes into another form. It evolves and morphs, you might say. You've seen movies about morphing. You change from one thing to another. Well, it goes into another strain of its type, and it gets a little stronger so they can fight off whatever you come at it with. Well, guess what? Virus is just a copycat. That is what your body was designed to do. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. We ask a lot of questions about why does the Belage work? It works because it helps the body to do what God had designed it to do. You must realize that your body is designed to heal itself. You've got millions and millions of white cells, T cells, lymphocytes, leukocytes, macrophage. All of these cells, T cells, helper cells, are designed to go out and do specific things towards getting rid of anything that doesn't belong, like bacteria, like fungus, germs, even viruses. The body will attack them, literally corral them, engulf them, and pull them out through the body. If you're drinking enough water and if you're eating enough fiber, the body will get rid of these poisons and toxins. The immune system is designed to do just that. And it's designed that way. What I think I'll do, I'll leave some of this for the end. But what we'll do is we'll go through the slides and then we'll talk about it. Again, these slides are literally, so that you understand, these slides are actual results of in vitro. We do in vivo and in vitro. In vitro means that we're talking about living subjects. We're talking about individuals who volunteered to be a part of these trials. And the Belage was given to them. And because of that, something happened in their immune systems. So these slides are broken down into a form where everybody can kind of look at them and understand. And I'm going to go through why, what viruses are, what they do, how they work, and why the body is able to do something with them if it is strong. Basically, a virus is an abnormal growth that comes in and basically takes over your body, and it uses your body as a host. And it uses your body like a copy machine, so that your body makes more and more and more of these same virus cells, and they grow until they take over the body. So what we're going to look at is the antiviral activity of Balaj, antiviral activity of Balaj. Listen to me carefully. During infections by a virus, example, influenza, SARS, what have you, natural killer cells, the NK cells, are activated. These immune system cells detect infected cells in your body and activate what is called cytotoxicity. In other words, the immune system response is sent out, and millions and trillions of cells are sent out there with all different kinds of diversity of what they do. Some destroy, some clean up, some engulf or eat up. They do different things to go out and take over these cells that don't belong in your body, okay? Let's see here. That's all. Dr. Ruth Ann, I turned on my video. Can everyone see me? I'm just curious. Can you see me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir,
Okay,
we can.
you can't see me good. I can't see myself. I just wanted to make sure because
Yes,
I
sir.
did want to show a couple of things. But the bottom line is, you know, I'm very, very active and I have to do things so that you can really understand what I'm saying. But in this first slide, you notice it says that, again, this cytotoxicity is sent out into the I guess we say the invading cells. So here you see this red eyeball looking thing, okay, which is basically an NK or a natural killer cell. It has attached itself to the viral cell, and it is literally sending something inside of the cell. That's the cytotoxicity. That's the poisons. That's the millions and trillions of white cells that go in and begin to eat away at the virus. They begin to destroy the virus's ability to grow and to replicate before it can become harmful to the body, okay? And as you can see, it's actually pushing things into the cell. So what is happening here is that these immune cells detect the infected cell. First of all, they detect it in the brain. The DNA says, okay, send out the storm, send out the combat control, send out the infantry. And they go out, the Marines and the Navy and the what else we got, the Air Force, all of them go out there with the Navy SEALs, and they go and they attack these viral cells. And here's what they do. When they attack them, they send out the poisons and toxins that's needed to kill them. So healthy bacteria has been established in your body to be a crucial regulator of immune cell response. And so what it does is sends out all these millions and trillions, but it regulates them so that they don't come out too strong and begin to destroy your body. As you've heard of autoimmune diseases, it's because the body is so weak and the immune system is not regulated because it's not strong enough. So it just sends out poisons, and sometimes the body destroys itself. But here we're talking about a strong body that literally can go out in the amounts that's needed to the places where it's needed and begin to do what? Put this into the natural killer cells. In other words, good cells attack viral cells to get rid of them or to cause them to implode. As you can see in figure 1, through the process of cytotoxicity, these natural killer cells, these white cells, these leukocytes, they go out, they detect the viral cell, they attach themselves to it, they spew into it all the cytotoxicity that's needed to destroy it, and they cause this cell to actually implode and to literally die. Antiviral activity of Balaj, again, individuals taking Balaj, this is what happens in case of any infection or virus. Influenza, for example, they enter into the cells and they use the host cell, which is your body. They use the machinery. What's the machinery? All the waste and morbid material that's in our bodies that we're not getting rid of. They use that to produce their nasty, morbid, toxic cells so that they can increase themselves. They increase by growing something or producing something that's called a viral protein. And this allows the virus to reproduce. In other words, to produce this viral protein that it needs to eat on, in order for it to make a lunch or pack a lunch, it needs something. What it needs is a viral enzyme that is called protease 3C-like or 3CL-Pro, okay? This viral enzyme is needed to make this protein. So if you look at figure 1, you see there, it's kind of green inside. That's where the virus has taken over the regular cell. And then you see a line that says 3CL, and that line is dotted line is going down to a place right in front of the green cell there, okay? That's where the enzyme is. You can't see it, but it's there. And I tell you what, we are in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves. And as you can see, Queen Dr. Ruth Ann is pointing us right to where we need to see. That is where the enzyme would be produced. Now, the red thing on the right, that little red cell is actually the protein that has been created. Now it has a big lunch, a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So now it can do what? Replicate and become the cell right next to it. It is now duplicated and become 2 cells. And it makes more of these little enzymes. The enzymes help to make more protein, and it keeps on happening. But now let's go down and look at figure 2. In figure 2, we see that the green is a little lighter than it was before, because the way you see the 3CL there, the ballage, the person has been ingesting ballage. The ballage sends out all of these cytotoxic materials, all these leukocytes, phagocytes. They go in and they eat up and make sure that that enzyme is not produced. And when that happens, they can finish by eating up the rest of the protein. You see the protein is not red, it's fading away, it's becoming pink. So therefore now this cell is unable to replicate and make another cell. And so what happens? The virus dies. Are you listening to me? So again, ballage inhibits the protease 3CL. They can't make that enzyme, and that prevents the virus from making a protein and replicating itself. It cannot duplicate at that point. We'll go to the next slide. So in vitro testing, again, that's on living subjects. These volunteers, Sankey tested ballage against several viruses. The enzyme 3CL Pro, which is necessary for production of these proteins by the virus, were not able to be replicated. Why? Because the ballage in the system prevented the production of viral cell functional proteins. So let's look over at the slide. I'm sorry, over at the diagram. It says on the left, you see that the viral protein production, duplication of viral cells. If you look inside these cells, you see all these little red proteins being, these viral proteins being produced. And then you see the cells replicating or duplicating or having more children and growing in your body. Again, they're packing their lunches because of the weakness of your immune system, because of all the garbage and filth that are in your body. All this stuff is a breeding ground for the growth and the proliferation of a viral cell. But on the right of that slide, of that diagram, we see the ballage being taken in by the person. It inhibits the production of this viral enzyme, and therefore the virus cannot make the protein that it needs. And you notice that the cells no longer have the red in them. They're turning back green again. They're reviving. They're healing themselves. The body is healing. It's removing all the dead cells, and the ones that are there are beginning to strengthen and grow the way they should. And it says here that ballage inhibits the 3CL Pro production of viral cells by literally 83.9%. That's 84% stoppage, halting, arresting, and just causing it to come to a halt, these viral cells. So again, ballage inhibits the viral cell from using 3CL Pro. It can't make the protein. And what happens in the presence of ballage? It inhibits the growth of these cells, these viral cells, by over 84%. So ballage inhibits virus reproduction in the cells. On our next slide, okay, again, in these in vitro testings, double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trials of 200 men and women ages 38 to 52 years old were recruited and asked to either consume 1 stick of ballage or 1 stick of the placebo every day, look at this now, from December the 1st, 2019 to March of 2020. That's just a few weeks ago, folks. And the occurrence of influenza A, influenza B was diagnosed using what is called nasopharyngeal swabs. In other words, they swabbed them, okay, and they recorded what they found. Gastroenteritis was diagnosed when at least 2 symptoms were present, such as nausea or vomiting, or diarrhea or fever, okay? So now what happened? Ballage reduced the impact of influenza A 50.5%. It reduced it, it stopped it, it cut it in half. Influenza B, 67.8%. Almost 70% of influenza B was destroyed, stopped, halted, eradicated. And gastroenteritis, 46%. So all of them, 50% or better, they stopped these viruses. The ones, SARS was in the group too. So bottom line, if it's yellow like a duck, web feet, and goes quack, quack, it's a duck. So what we're saying is our products basically have been proven, the ballage especially, to literally stop the onslaught, the growth, and replication of all viruses. In vitro testings, they took blood samples from the patients from the Balaj group and the control group, and the cytotoxicity, or the ability of these natural killer cells to destroy, was assessed at the beginning of week 1 and at the end of week 4 by measuring the lactate deshydrogenase released from the target cells. And Balaj increased the immune system by 39.8%. And there was no significant changes observed in the control group. So bottom line, Balaj, folks, Balaj, folks, Balaj, folks, increases the efficacy, the strength, the ability of the immune system to do the job that God intended for it to do when he placed it in the body. Okay, I believe that was our last slide, but what I want to do now is I want to just talk to you a little bit about what's going on. In talking to one of the top virologists in the world, we find out that this virus that we're dealing with is super dangerous because it has the ability to proliferate. It has the ability to strengthen itself. It has the ability to evolve and get better. So when you bring something to stop it, it strengthens itself up. So next time that works, that doesn't work. I'll give you an example. 40 years ago, unbeknownst to the public, the medical society did not have anything to fight off certain sicknesses and diseases. I mean, you'd have a germ cell or a bacteria, or maybe even a cancer cell, an AIDS cell, and they would literally put these various psyllins, ampicillin or whatever kind of psyllin, penicillin, they would put it in the petri dish with a cell of the virus, and generally it would eat up the virus. But then it got to the point where these viruses had grown so strong, they had evolved to the point that when they actually put in the psyllin or the antibiotic, guess what happened? The viral cell would literally begin to eat on the what was sent in to help it. In other words, it would eat up the penicillin that was designed to kill it. It ate it up instead. So that's where we are. We're at a case where we're talking about a COVID-19 that's able to replicate, jump, and morph and become stronger for the next hit. 30, 40 strains of it, I've been told, literally it has morphed to. So what does that mean? That means that your immune system did the same thing. The products that we're talking about, the 4 formulas, have what is called the nano capability. Nano means that they've been designed and the ingredients are so minuscule, they're so small that they can literally go through the blood-brain barrier and through the cell walls at the microcellular level. That means that they don't have to wait to be absorbed and assimilated into the system, because most of your guts are so clogged up with fat and grease and starches that you can't assimilate anyway. You eat all this expensive food and you're still tired and sick and hungry and have no energy because your body is not getting the nutrients. But with our formulas and the nano formulation, they go straight into the cells at the microcellular level, and within just a few minutes, the body begins to do what? Reverse, recover, and restore itself. Why does it do this? Simply because the ingredients come from fermented cacao, fermented tea tree, not tea tree, but what am I trying to say? Green tea, from rosemary, and from olive. These trees have been around for at least 4,000 to 5,000 years. How do you know that, Dr. Franco? Simply because, for those of you that remember the story, when Noah landed the ark, a dove came to him, and what did the dove have in his beak? He had an olive leaf. So that tells me that olive trees have been around 4,000 or 5,000 years. That means that in order for a tree to last that long, it has evolved, it has strengthened, and it has made enough antioxidants to fight off plague, fungus, bacteria, the elements, the heat, whatever environment, it doesn't matter. These trees have lasted. And here's a case in point. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me, so you can understand what it is that we have in our hands. There's something called an evergreen tree. Why is it evergreen? Because its leaf never fades. And the scriptures talk about the fact that the tree would yield its fruits, and the fruit of the tree would be for our food, and the leaves thereof are our medicine. So the medicine is on the trees that have been there for so long, because they've evolved and gotten stronger and stronger. They've built all these antioxidants, and that is what our formulas are based on. these antioxidant, these metabolite making trees and plants that are so strong. From that, we take the fermented ingredients and we put them straight into our bodies at the microcellular level. The body recognizes them, uses them as fuel and energy to do its processes. And the immune system goes to work, the digestive tract goes to work, the bowels begin to move. Everything that needs to happen happens because we're giving a jump start to the body that it hasn't had in a long, long, long time. As a matter of fact, the olive trees that we have, again, our leaders don't go out buying big Rolls Royces and Mercedes Benz and all that. And what they do is they spend their money on trees. Y'all aren't listening to me. We've got trees that are 2,500 years old. We've got trees that cost, together you're talking over $1 million for trees. But it's because of the strength, the efficacy of all of the evolution of these trees. That tree that's 2,500 years has stayed the weather, the time, the plagues, the everything. Nothing, that tree is so strong that it is almost indestructible. And when we take those indestructible trees, and from that we have our own farm with thousands of trees that have evolved and have come from this tree with all its strength, with all its energy, with all its antioxidants, those metabolites are placed into our formulas, and then you can place them into your body and in the bodies of individuals who join forces with you, individuals that you will go out and contact to help. So bottom line, we've got a process that's so strong. I want to review it just for a second. And folks, that is definitely our watch line. I don't know if you can see that little storm in there. Yeah, it's like a tornado, like a storm. I call it the Sankey storm. Our body sends out something that's called a cytokine storm, which is all these white cells. They go out when they detect the virus, they go out. And sometimes it can be so strong, like I said, that it can literally destroy even good cells. But because of the barrage, it helps to regulate this cytokine storm, and it becomes what I call a Sankey storm. It goes exactly where it's supposed to go in exactly the right amounts to go detect and then engulf and remove the bacteria, the virus, the germ. It doesn't matter what goes in the body. The immune system has been designed by our creator to take care of it if it's strong. If it's strong. Let me give you an idea, an example. Let's just say that you had 75 pit bulls on your front porch, and you had 25 pit bulls inside the house, and you left to go shopping or go wherever, go visit. How many people robbers are going to go in your house while you're gone? None. Why? Because of the pit bulls. You've got a strong defense, like an immune system. It's strong with all the teeth and the strong jaws. Now, what happens though if someone were to poison your pit bulls, gave them some poisoned pork chops or whatever, steaks, and poisoned them all? So now they're too weak to do anything. So now what? The invader can come in because the immune system can't fight any longer. So what you've got to do is you've got to infuse some poison removing stuff into those pit bulls, or you got to bring some more pit bulls in, okay? So that once again, your defense is where it needs to be. That is what the Balaj and the Quinui and the Inner Seven and Hasaki, that's what they do. They bring back in what it takes to retool, to refuel, to rebuild the immune system and the DNA and the mitochondria, give them energy so the body begins to burn again, and the immune system begins to work again. The bowels begin to move again. You're able to rest and get energy, and the immune system can heal the body quickly. And you work and get tired and you recover instantly. Why? Because now you've placed back in the body the things that it needs in order to carry on its regular processes. Can you all see what we have here? I'm trying to keep us on a plane of seeing that it's simple, but it's so powerful, it's so intricate that it's unbelievable. But it's as simple as when the body has what it needs, as Dr. Bahia Diaz has said, I will not go out and try to contract or try to come up with a supplement that is going to go out and try to heal a particular part of the body. Instead, I will give the body what it needs so that it can heal itself. Are you all getting this? That's all we're doing here, is giving the body what it needs so that it can heal itself. So again, let's talk about why this thing works. Again, Balaj with its fermented olive leaf, listen to me carefully, it delivers or furnishes millions of nano-sized particles into the body at the microcellular level. That's down inside the cells themselves, okay? And this causes the DNA, the deoxyribonucleic acid, okay, to literally help by causing it to make millions and trillions of white cells, the lymphocytes, the phagocytes, the T cells, helper cells, B cells, leukocytes, all these different immune system molecules that are designed to do different things to get rid of the enemy, okay, and to keep the body sound. In other words, this strong immune system that serves to contain the viral infection, okay, while the immune response generates antigen-specific cytotoxic T cells or killer cells, and they go and do what? They clear out the infection. They come in with the cleanup crew. You've got it corralled where it can't go anywhere. It's in one location, so it's not all over the body now. So they got it in one location where they can go in and clean it all up, remove it out of the body. If you're drinking enough water, and if you're eating enough salads and fruits and so forth that have not been cooked, then your body basically reaches homeostasis. And again, it's in a point and in a position where it can heal itself, it can regulate itself, it can keep itself sound. And that's called homeostasis. So again, we've got products that are designed to help the body to reverse, recover, and restore itself. Folks, you've got something so powerful. There's no one out there, no other company that has what we have. Our products took 40 years to be researched and developed and brought to the point where they were brought into the world. And then it's been 10 years since then. So we're talking 50 years in the technology, the research and development of the product. Who else has done anything like that? No one. Who else will do? No one. No one's going to have that much time to come up with something that like what we have. And these are patented formulas for all four of our products. They're patented formulas that, again, deliver to the body all of the things that it needs so that our bodies can heal themselves and so that we can have a longevity as opposed to our lives becoming worse and worse and shorter and shorter lifespans. Instead, they begin to increase. It slows down the aging process. So you can be a Dr. Franco at 70 and feel pretty good, folks. And I intend to be around at 100, 105, 110, 115, like what Dr. Bahia Diaz says he has at his clinic, okay, in Japan. I want to go visit him too, so we can talk eye to eye. So again, you've got formulas that are designed in the nano. Remember that nano, which means that they're so small, so minuscule that they go straight through the blood-brain barrier. They go straight through the cell walls at the microcellular level, straight into the system, straight into the mitochondria, straight into the DNA, and the body begins to do what God designed for it to do. It knows its cell response, its gene response. It knows what to do. And when given what it needs, it goes back to doing exactly what it was created to do. And that is to keep the body at homeostasis, keep the body balanced at 7.5 so that it can heal, it can grow, it can have strength, it can rest when it needs to, it can take off when it needs to, and it does all that it was created to do. So again, I can't make it any more difficult than it is. It's really simple. We have a formulation, 4 patented formulas that help the body to heal itself, that help the body to heal itself, that helps the body to reach homeostasis, where it is self-regulating, self-governing. It actually is running on what we call AUTO-matic, okay, automatic pilot. We just need to give it what it needs. And that's what our formulas are designed to do. So what I'm going to do now is to see, I think Dr. Ruth Ann Lightbourne is still there. If we have questions from anyone on our formulas, any questions about things that are going on in your body that maybe no one has ever answered for you before, we'll do our very best to answer those. So if you'd like to unmute and ask a question, we'd be glad to see if we can help you with that question, because we've got formulas that are designed to help 100% of the people, 100% of the time. So, anybody out there with questions?
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, I'm Trevor Alexander. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say I'm Trevor Alexander. I was invited by Terrence, and I just want to thank you for the workshop. I look forward to being able to listen to it again, but while I'm watching the slides because I could only listen because I was busy, but I'm going to look forward to another opportunity to see the slides that you're speaking of. But it's very interesting. So I just want to thank you. All right.
You're
Good
welcome.
morning. Morning, Dr. Franco.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, everyone. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate all the team. I just had a question yesterday, and I just wanted to ask you if a child or an adult had parasite, which product would it be for me to advise them to actually order?
Okay, parasites. Well, so again, remember now, parasites are abnormal growths, and those parasites need something abnormal to eat on, like a virus needs something abnormal in your body to make what it needs so it can breed. Sickness, parasites cannot live in a good running bloodstream. Leviticus 17:11 says the life of the flesh is in the blood. So if the blood is flowing good, the parasite can't exist there because the blood is clean and flowing. So that means, first of all, that you've got something to do. That adult or that child must eat living foods, must drink plenty of water, must keep those bowels moving. In other words, if you're eating 3 meals a day, you should have 3 bulky bowel movements every day. What goes in must come out, or it's going to sit and become morbid, putrid, rotted material in the body, which sets up a breeding ground or a living space for parasites. So that's number one. You got to do something. It can't all be placed on the back of the Sankey Fit supplements, which are great formulations, but they can't do everything. We've got to do something. So the person must remove the place where these parasites can come and live by beginning to eat better, drink better, and exercise, fresh air, sunlight. All of that needs to happen. But again, the product system itself, especially the Belage, the Inner 7, and the Quinu, are designed to go in and do something. Remember, the Belage, even the Hasaki has 596 metabolites in it. The Belage has over 300 metabolites to go along with the millions of antioxidants, enzymes, and so forth. But these are designed to do something, especially the metabolites. What the metabolites do, they have 3 functions. The first function is to give you energy. So they fuel the mitochondria. So the mitochondria gives you that ATP, that energy that's needed for the body to do everything it needs to do. Number 2, it helps to rebuild tissues, rebuild protein, rebuild the muscles and so forth in the body, the tissues in the body. Number 3 is to remove the waste. So millions of molecules go into the system and begin to flush out the system at the microcellular level. Those parasites are living down inside of those smallest cells, inside of the tissues of the body. So when you flush out those cells, when you flush out those tissues, then you're flushing out the parasites. With this, which is called our micro scanner, we've literally shown individuals, for those of you who are serious about this, you've got to get your hands, you got to get the actual class on this where you can literally own a scanner. But this microscope, you can see it's the size of a double size of a pen, maybe thickness of a pen, but we can point to your finger and actually show you all the inflammation, show you the parasites in the cell. And then when you drink the Belage, okay, in water, and 20 minutes later, we can show you the parasites running out of the system. We can actually show you the worm-like things moving out of the system. We can show you the inflammation beginning to be eaten up and dissolved by the white cells, okay? You can actually see the fatty tissues being eaten up and dissolved. You see the system and the body cleansing at the cell level. So as it's flushing out, you'll actually see the free radicals and the parasites moving out of the system. The body's moving them out, moving them into the bowel, into the urine, where they can be driven out of the body the way God had planned for them to do. So the entire system is basically designed to give the body the energy, the metabolites, the enzymes, the antioxidants that it needs so that it then can push everything out of the body that doesn't belong, including parasites. Hope that made sense.
Okay, Dr. Franco, I just want to reiterate a question that I had actually typed to you, and you already gave me the answer, but I know somebody else might be going through the same thing, so I'm just going to say it again, just in case. So this person had talked about having a hysterectomy and needing meds and all this different stuff and couldn't sleep. But once they started taking the Balage, they found that they started getting these muscle spasms, and they wanted to know, like, what would that be? Like, was something shifting? And you gave me the answer, but just in case somebody else is going through that same issue, I just want you to respond to that.
Okay. Basically, when you're having spasms, cramps, and so forth, it's because there's an imbalance, a chemical imbalance in the body, imbalance of sodium, magnesium, so forth, so on. And when you've spent so many years, again, we said Leviticus 17:11 says the life of the flesh is where? In the blood. The blood is the key. So when that blood is flowing at the microcellular level, you've got microcirculation, then everything is being flushed out, and then the body can do what it's supposed to do. But when the circulation is sluggish, when it stops, you really can't feel anything. And then when it starts picking up again, because maybe you are putting something in like Balage, then you start feeling it again. And yeah, you start getting little cramps, maybe little spasms. But in most cases, that's not bad. That's good. You're beginning to feel yourself again. The body is beginning to circulate. The blood is circulating. And so now areas where you didn't feel stuff, you begin to feel. And it's just, in most cases, it's a healing crisis. The body is just beginning to work. You hadn't felt that in a long, long time. And these supplements, these formulas are designed to make you feel it within minutes of taking the product. Within minutes, a day or so, your body is doing what it hadn't done in years. And so, yes, you're going to feel it. Once you get used to it, you realize that you should be able to feel your blood coursing through your veins. You should be able to. That's your body. You should know your body, and you can feel it. And that's what's happening, I would say, basically, as the body is beginning to heal. But they still have the job of eating more live food, more salads and fruits that are not cooked, okay, organic if at all possible, and drinking much more water. And to make your water taste good, you need to put some Balage or some Crenui in it, and it'll taste so good it'll make you want to drink more water. That's another plus. It makes water taste so good that you just can't wait to get more in. But again, the body begins to heal, the blood begins to circulate. You might feel a little something, a little uneasiness, maybe a little tingle, little twitching, maybe a little spasm or whatever, but it should go away almost instantly if you continue to take the products and do the things you need to do, like rest, exercise, sunlight, fresh air, drinking your water, and eating more live foods.
Another question that we have in the chat, it says, can it get rid of fibroids?
Okay, again, remember now, the products are not going to get rid of anything. What they're going to do is they're going to help the body to do that. So again, if you're putting in good nutrients, good food, which most people are not doing, then the formulas will help to put in the things that the body needs so that it can heal itself. So again, if you give the body what it needs, it's going to heal itself. It doesn't care whether it's fibroids or whether it's pimples or boils or carbuncles, or it doesn't care whether it's tonsillitis or sinusitis. It doesn't care. If it doesn't belong, the body is designed to get rid of it, not these formulas. Again, Dr. Bahia Diaz said, I am not trying to create a supplement or something that's going to go and get rid of a specific problem in the body. Instead, we're going to give the body what it needs so that it can do what? Heal itself. And yes, the body will literally get rid of fibroids. I'll give you an example. My wife loves me. I know she does because she allowed me to deliver our children at home. But the bottom line is when our second child was being born, she literally had fibroids. About 3 months, when he would move a foot or a leg, you could actually see the fibroid come up out of her stomach like that far up, okay? And so we began to really go to work. We used formulas and made sure she was getting all her water, getting all of her, lots of fresh juices. In other words, we gave the body the vitamin A and C from living foods that it needed to cleanse and cleanse the tissues out, okay? And strengthen the tissues. And when that happened, there was no place for the fibroids to live. And so by the time our son was born, 6 months later, she had no fibroids. So they literally dissolved, they literally shrank, just like they grew. They had nothing to live on, so they shrank. They're abnormal. They're living in your body. It's abnormal tissue that's almost living on its own. It's a parasite. It's using your body as a host. But if you take out the things that it's using to proliferate and grow, then it will have to shrink. The body is designed to get rid of that which doesn't belong, including a fibroid. And yes, the supplements will help do that because they're formulated to do what? Give the body what it needs so that it can in turn get rid of anything, including a fibroid. And
okay, we have another question in the group, and the question is, well, it came privately. It says, my husband suffers with reoccurring hiccups. They started about 8 months ago. He was hospitalized for same, but all the tests performed did not reveal the cause. Is there anything that we could recommend to abate these symptoms?
Yeah, well, sometimes hiccups can be caused, again, they've not proven, but we've looked and we've seen that it can be because you're not, the bloodstream, once again, is not pure. There might be too much nitrogenous wastes in the system, not getting enough oxygen in the system. Foods maybe not being digested well enough. A lot of things can be happening. So if the individual would actually start getting more exercise, drinking more water, along with taking the supplements, taking the formulas like the large, especially getting more minerals in to the body, then we've seen over a period of time, we've seen hiccups, that constant hiccuping, we've seen it begin to stop when the person gets into the body what it needs. It's something abnormal. Whatever the reaction is, it's to something unnatural in the body. And the formulas are designed to take all the unnatural things out, to clean the body at the microcellular level, to bring more hydration, more oxygen into the body, to give the body what it needs so that it can move naturally without any encumbrances, without any holdups, without any additions. And when it does this, even hiccups would begin to go away because there's no room in the body anymore for anything abnormal to obstruct the basic foundational, the basic movements of the body. The basic processes can go along the way they were designed, and even the hiccups should disappear.
Another question that's in the group, it said that the person needs to lose at least 100 pounds, and they want to know, would increasing the intake of the Canoe speed up that process?
Yes, and absolutely. And while they're doing their exercise, they can be drinking their Canoe, okay? They can be doing their exercise. They've got to do something too. You know, we've seen people lose a lot of weight and the skin is just sagging and hanging simply because they didn't do anything. So the number one way to lose weight is exercise. Number one, numero uno, that's it. You got to do some exercise. They need to walk at least 45 minutes to an hour every single day, or at least 6 days a week. And the idea is to walk as quickly or as briskly as they can. And then I know everybody can't walk like everybody else, but as long as they're trying, even if it's just one little step at a time, as long as they're putting their all into it, the body will begin to burn. Now, the Canoe absolutely will help because it's going to burn what? It's going to burn fats and tissues and caramelized grease. It's going to burn it up at night while they're asleep and keep it from getting into the bloodstream so that the sugar level, the blood pressure will go down and the waist will get slimmer, okay, because it's burning up this fat. But if they get out and do their walking every day, they're going to increase it tenfold because now they're picking up the metabolism. They're causing the formula to work even better by giving the body tenfold what it needs in order for it to remove excess fatty tissues and sugars and starches from the body. So absolutely, the Canoe will absolutely help. But again, the person needs to do something for themselves. You can't put all this weight on just some formulas. There's no magic. You still have to do what you need to do. And we have to tell our people this. You have to let them know if a person is just not feeling good, if their pressure is sky high, then they know they're not eating correct. They know they're not eating correctly. So you got to let them know along with this. And by the way, our 10-day comes with, all 3 of the products, all 4 of the products are in the 10 days worth with a booklet that helps to tell them about exercise and so forth. You got to tell them they've got to walk. They've got to drink more water. They've got to eat more salads and fruits to go with the cooked food. If they don't do this, you can't put that, because they'll go and keep doing what they think doing what they want to do, just like they do with meds. The doctors sort of don't say it, but they infer that if you just take this drug, you can keep on doing everything you want to drink all the wine, smoke all the cigarettes, eat all the barbecue you want. Just go about it. Eat 5 apple pies and 2 gallons of ice cream a day and 16 Snicker bars an hour later. Just do what you want to do as long as you take these meds. That ain't going to work. You've still got to do something, folks. And you cannot take Crenew and eat 18 boxes of donuts and think you're going to lose weight because you're taking the Crenew. They still got to do something. But yes, the Crenew will definitely help to burn excess fat, starches, and sugars out of the bloodstream.
Yes, thank you so much. And then there's 2 more questions, and then we'll close it out before the 12 o'clock Lifestyle Connect, which is on the other Zoom line. But one of the questions are, can it help reverse Candida? And what products would address this best?
Well, basically the whole system, because of course Candida basically is living off of sugar. But again, they've got to literally back up off of enriched flour products, which turn to sugar, white sugar, okay, table syrup. All these things are loaded with sugars, and all these white starchy things turn to sugar, and that gives an overgrowth of breeding ground for Candida. Once they eat more salads, I would even cut back on eating fruits and eat lots of salads and things like that for a while. But the feeding system, because what our products are sweetened with is stevia, so there's no sugar there, okay? So that's going to help. And bottom line, the whole system is designed, again, to bring the body to homeostasis, where that means that there's no place for the Candida to live. So the system, period, is designed to balance out whatever is going on. Whether it's an over-alkaline situation or over-acidic situation, when the body is at 7.5, there's no room for anything to live that doesn't belong, including Candida.
And one of our last questions before we close it out is, what product combination works best for uterine cancer?
Again, the entire system is designed to help the body balance, to give the body the foodstuffs that it needs, to help the body build the immune system. Of course, the Belage is the immune system builder, but then the immune system still needs to be fed on a regular basis. So that's where the Hasaki would come in. Getting the excess fats and sugars out of the body makes room for the cancerous materials to not have anything to live on. So again, the whole system, because it helps the body to reach a balance. But if you just want to go for it, then you've got the Belage and the Crenew together and the Inner 7. Those 3 could be taken together 2 to 3 times a day. And this would be a good help, a good fight. But again, they still need to go what? Walking. They still need to get sunlight, because sunlight is vitamin D straight into the system. They need fresh air because they need that good oxygen to help burn up free radicals in the body, okay? They need rest. Just all of those natural things still need to be done, but the entire system is designed to help the body reach homeostasis. When it's at that point, then the body can get rid of even cancerous cells in the body. It can get rid of viruses. We said viruses, and that's what the Belage helps to do. Then you couple that with the Inner 7, the Crenew, and you're burning out fat, sugars, you're getting rid of poisons and toxins, you're flushing out the system where there's nowhere for cancer and virus and so forth to live, and they have to leave the body.
Well, we had one more question, but I believe you just answered it, because they said someone with bone cancer. Well, you just talked about uterine cancer, which is basically same thing, meaning cancer is cancer. So they wanted to know if these products could help with bone cancer.
They help with the body healing itself. That's the bottom line. And we got to stop targeting specific things. We know that they have individual things that are happening, but when the body heals itself, it's going to not only deal with the bones, it's going to deal with the muscles, the joints, the liver, the kidney, the heart, the cardiovascular system, the muscle. It's going to deal with the whole body, including that particular point. And so other things that are going on, usually when people tell you they have a sickness, that's not the only thing they have, but that's the main one. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, okay? But what will happen is as you begin to give the complete system to the body, then all of these things will get better, including the main problem or main concern that they have. And folks, it's been a plum-pleasing pleasure as always to talk with you. Hopefully you realize that we have products that don't heal the body, but they help the body to heal itself. So these formulas literally will help the body to reverse, recover, and restore whatever is going on in the body. And they work for 100% of the people, 100% of the time, because they're just working in a buddy system. We're palling up with God's created body, with its immune system and DNA system, to help it to do what it was designed to do, and that is to heal itself.
So like Dr. Franco said, thank you so much for actually allowing us to have this physician's moment. How do you not lose weight on the products? Someone was asking, how do you not lose weight on the products?
How do you not? They don't want to lose weight. Well,
Yeah.
this only, the quinui basically is burning up excess fats, excess sugars and starches. Your body needs sugars and starches, okay? Naturally, it needs an amount of those in order to give you energy. Carbohydrates is what your body burns for energy. It doesn't burn protein for energy. So you're not going to lose weight that you need. You're not going to lose firm, toned muscle and sinews. What you'll lose is the excess fat. So the body knows what to do. It knows the balance. When it reaches the balance, that's homeostasis. It's going to stay there. You see individuals that run 50, 100 miles a day, and they just stay the size that they are. They don't burn off what they need. They just burn off excess. And so that'll happen here. You won't lose weight that you need here. You'll just lose what you don't need.
Well, guys, we're 1 minute to the Lifestyle Connect on the other Zoom line. So we want to say thank you so much for getting on for this medical moment with Dr. Franco Taylor, natural medical doctor, who is absolutely incredibly amazing. And like he said, guys, our products do not heal the body. The body heals itself. It just allows the body to get in alignment and to a level of homeostasis. So thank you so much for getting on, and have a fabulous Saturday, and join our Lifestyle Connect at 12 and 9 again tonight. And then also we have a few launches for different individuals today, one at 6, and which will be on this line, and as well as one at 7, which will be on this line. So come back again, we'll see you there. And like I said, the 12 o'clock Lifestyle Connect and the 9 o'clock Lifestyle Connect is the new Zoom link. So make sure to send your friends and your contacts and guests to that line and not to this line, because this line will not have anybody on it. So thank you so much for getting on, and have a fabulous, fabulous weekend. Bye-bye, my friends. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Hey,
Hey.
baby.
Yes?
Say this so that people would understand. Okay. Our product is an intelligent force. What it does, it allows the body to heal itself, no matter what type of condition that you are in. What it does, it helps the body to reverse, recover, and restore. What it does also, any mapping, anything that is wrong in the body. Let's say, for example, if you have cancer, you may have cancer, but you may have other underlying condition. And so what this product does, it doesn't heal. It doesn't heal. What it does, it sets the body into motion to start and heal itself. No matter if you have diabetes, no matter if you have cancer, no matter if you have liver dysfunction, no matter if you have kidney dysfunction, no matter if you have asthma, allergies,